doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. I know last week when we talked, you had some issues with your boss. Can you tell me how things are going this week?
Well, they are kind of not getting better. And that's kind of really frustrating me. I'm kind of torn between quitting or staying. That's how serious it is.
Wow.
Yeah, this week was just, it was difficult because we've been having, we've been shifting staff and doing, some people got terminated and all this stuff. And this position opened up where somebody who'd been at this position for like 20 years just didn't agree with the new change and resigned. And so I had made some suggestions to the interim director, and I said, can we get somebody who's bilingual? Can we get somebody who knows community resources? Can we get somebody who understands the shelter process and transitioning and stuff like that? And she was like, sure. We were writing the job description, and I never got the job description. None of us ever did. And out of the blue, this girl who was hired, this young woman, I shouldn't say girl, she's a young woman, she got hired. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, she didn't introduce us. All of a sudden, this girl pops up one day, woman pops up in the office, and we're like, hi. And she's like, hi, I'm the new shelter manager. And I'm looking at her, and she's got a big old belly. She's 6 months pregnant, which, that's awesome for her, but this work is really demanding, and she's only been here in Tucson a month and doesn't know any of the resources. So I felt bad for her. So this week has been kind of trying for her because it was a case where we had to work together. And I ended up pretty much doing most of the work because she doesn't have the contacts, she doesn't know the housing situation, doesn't understand.
Does she have any experience in the field?
She has experience in working in shelters, but in domestic violence shelters are very different from like the ones that we have for the program.
Right.
So that's it. She doesn't have any contacts here in Tucson. So when we put a person into a shelter, which isn't really a shelter, it's an assisted living facility for 2 weeks, we have to work real fast case management to transition them to a shelter or to housing. And if people don't know you, you have to go out there and really go knock on doors.
Right. Do you feel like your boss didn't take any of the suggestions that you made? Because you mentioned that you had recommended getting a person who was bilingual and somebody who had different, knowledge of the city of Tucson, and she didn't.
She didn't take that into consideration. And amongst everything else that's happened since November of last year, that's just one more thing that gets added to it. And I am frustrated because I want to go and I want to tell her, look, we wanted to work with you. We really wanted to give you some input. I gave her some input, and it wasn't taken into account. And now I'm having to do basically 2 jobs, and I don't know for how long, because if this girl doesn't develop, first of all, she's 6 months pregnant. She's going to have a kid in 3 months. She's not going to develop the network that she needs to have, not rapidly. And
how long would it take for her, do you think, to kind of get her feet wet in that position? And
it depends on your personality. If you're a go-getter and you go and you do outreach services and you do marketing and you really go out there and you work it and you put your name to, people put your name to the face, it'll be quick. But if you don't, and then like if she has maternity leave, that's going to be 3 months. People will forget you in a heartbeat. So it's really, it really bothers me a lot that I'm having that we weren't even considering that I work closely with the program, that I wasn't even consulted, or that we weren't consulted about, hey, what would work in the best interest of the program. And now clearly there's not so much a backlash, but a lack of progress. And I don't want to be the one that has to carry it all, because I have enough work to do as it is.
Right. I heard you say that you do have a lot to do. Yeah. And at the same time, here's this nice young woman who's 6 months pregnant, who wants to learn the position and possibly stay and transition into it, but you don't really have the time or the patience.
It's not my job.
Okay, you just feel like it's not your job to teach it.
No, because when she was hired, the interim said, I'll train you, I'll teach you, you'll learn everything from me. And all of a sudden, like today, she wanted to learn about grants and the reports. And the interim said to her, well, go ask Dahlia, she knows what she's doing. I'm like, no. So I got really frustrated today. And I just kind of like, I almost just got up and said, you know what, I'm done with you. But I love the work that I do. And I hate the programmatic aspect of it and the politics that are happening right now, but I really love the work that I do. Like, it's my passion. So I'm really torn because I'm like at the brink of like walking out the door. Or not even going in.
You mentioned before that you didn't know if you were going to quit or stay, but then you said you really love your job.
Yeah, that's where it's hard. So that's my internal quandary. Like, do I go because this is like this? Do I stay because this is like this? Right. I'm at that spot where I'm like, or do I confront? Do I ask for a meeting and explain how I'm feeling?
Take a third option just to confront those other issues.
But there's just some deep politics going on where it's not conducive right now to even question anything. It's just not good. So I'm kind of just swallowing it, but it's really making me angry and bitter.
And you mentioned a lot of firing and quitting and resigning going on as well at the same time. How do you feel in your position? Do you feel like your position is pretty stable?
I feel my position is really stable because I know the community. I know how it works. I know victim services like the back of my hand. So I'm not concerned about that. It's just I don't have time to train somebody who she didn't pick correctly.
Right.
If she would have brought somebody in that had these things, we'd be, I enjoy the girls' company or the young women's company, and I'm trying to take her under my wing, but I don't have time.
Right. Besides her just being a nice person, does she have any of the qualities that you had recommended?
No. No, I think she has like 6 months experience working at a shelter, but that's not really, and the kind of shelter she was working is different from the work that we do. No, she's got heart. She's got a lot of heart, but and then sometimes that'll get you places. But we needed that program to be up and running like ASAP, and it's not happening.
So she's aggressive and she goes out. You mentioned her being pregnant. She's
not. No, she's not aggressive or assertive, but she has heart. She understands social justice, which I really like about her. And I think if she wasn't pregnant, she'd probably be like the perfect candidate because I can tell that she'd pick up Spanish quickly, and I think she did live like in Costa Rica for a couple months. So she's very open, which I like. But there's also that component of her not being able to do the job as rapidly as it should be done. And then the pregnancy.
Right. Why do you think your boss hired her?
To CYA.
To
cover her ass.
Oh.
To cover her butt.
Just to fill the position?
No, because the grant was at risk.
Okay. So if she didn't put somebody in that position, then she would lose funds.
They were going to yank her the grant.
Okay.
So that's kind of like, you don't make knee-jerk decisions like that without consulting the persons that it's going to affect your coworkers.
Right.
You don't do that. At least pull them in and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
And let you know that you might have to train this person and maybe
I've
take
never
some
been told.
time out of the day to do that.
Never been told, never been consulted, never was asked.
So yeah, I could see that where that would be difficult, especially when you already have, as you mentioned, a pretty stressful caseload and pretty full caseload as it is, to add a person who needs training.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like she needs knowledge of the complete system, probably a couple weeks of training under somebody before she's fully knowledgeable.
Which it wasn't going to happen anyway because these programs are self-maintained. It's just myself in the program. I'm the program coordinator, but I'm also the advocate and I do everything.
So there's no one else to cover your position if you go train her. Okay.
So she's a she's the elder shelter manager, but she's also she does all the work. And from the minute that I saw she was 6 months pregnant, I'm like, oh, that means that 3 months from now she's going to be asking for maternity leave. Then what does that mean?
Right.
To hire somebody else.
And train somebody else to